Find a comfortable seat on your mat. So today's class is going to focus on the neck and shoulders and maybe a little bit of the jaws. So we hold a lot of tension in these places, and we also, most of us, probably spend a lot of our time in front of the screen, which sometimes we tend to jut our head forward in that case, or if we're looking down at our devices, right? So it's just really good to sometimes give a little attention and love to our neck and shoulders and try to kind of counteract some of those habits that we form. So with that, we're going to start with our fingertips reaching out away from the body in line with the hips. So arms straight, fingertips just barely touching the ground. Draw the shoulders back and down. Squeeze the low ribs together. Draw your tailbone down so that you're sitting up nice and tall. And close your eyes. Bring your awareness to your spine. Just feel the tailbone reaching down towards the center of the earth and the crown of the head reaching up towards the sky. And sense the breath massaging the spine as you inhale and exhale. And as you breathe in, you'll notice the body expanding outward. And then as you breathe out, invite a little contraction to the abdominal muscles to support the spine. Let the ears float over the shoulders and the chin be parallel to the earth. And the next time you exhale, just think of letting go of something, any negative or stagnant energy, thoughts, tension in the body, anything that isn't serving you in this moment. Just let it go with the exhale. And then with your next inhale, gently flutter the eyes open. And then we're going to turn our head to the left, bringing the chin to stack over the shoulder if that's successful. And then look as far to the right as you can without turning the head. So your head's turning left, your gaze is to the right. And then with your next inhale, come back to center. Exhale, start to turn your head to the right, and then look as far to the left as you can. And then inhale to center. We're going to do that 2 more times on each side. So as you exhale, turn your head to the left, gaze to the right. If you kind of think of looking, keeping your gaze towards your screen, no matter which way your head turns. And then inhale to center. Exhale, head turns right, your gaze goes left. Inhale, center. 1 more time on each side. So exhale, head turns left, gaze goes to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, head turns right, gaze goes to the left. And then inhale back to center. Okay, now we're going to do a little more eye yoga. So we're going to start to look in a big circle in one direction. So your head stays centered, but your gaze goes all around you in a circular motion. Really feel the muscles of the eyes that we don't always notice. And then reverse the direction. Gazing around in a big circle the other way. And then come to center. Close your eyes tight, squeeze them tight, scrunch up your face, scrunch up your nose, pucker your lips, take a deep breath in. And then exhale for lion's breath. Eyes open wide, mouth opens wide, the tongue sticks out. Let's do that twice more. Inhale, scrunch up your face, squeeze your eyes, everything squeezes in tight. And then exhale, lion's breath. One more time. And then just relax the face. Okay. Now switch the position of the legs. Bring the other leg in front. Keep the fingers reaching out towards the floor beside the hips. Shoulders drawing back and down. And then just gently drop left ear to left shoulder. And then we're going to take that right arm behind the back for a half line. And then if it feels good to move, you can nod your head a little bit. And then with your next inhale, we're going to sweep that right arm up towards the sky. Start to walk your left hand away from you and fold over towards your left. Try to keep that right sits bone grounded. Draw the shoulders away from the ears. Turn your gaze up towards the sky if that feels okay on the neck. Take one more deep breath in, creating more length in both sides of the body. Exhale, reaching over a little further. And then inhale, come back to center and release the right arm down. Okay. Reach up through the crown of the head on your inhale. And then exhale, gently tip right ear to right shoulder. And then we'll take the left arm behind the low back. Draw the shoulders down away from the ears. Maybe nod the head if the movement feels better than stillness. And then with your next inhale, sweep the left arm up towards the sky. Start to crawl your right hand further away, reaching way over to the right, but keeping that left sits bone grounded. So you can press into the right hand, draw that sits bone back down. And then open through the chest, maybe turn your gaze up towards the sky. Take another breath in as you create more length in both side bodies. Exhale, reaching out a little further to the right. And then inhale to center and release that left arm down. Okay. Now we're going to turn the palms up, even maybe back behind you a little bit. So we're really opening through the front of the arms and the shoulders. Fingertips are just barely touching the ground, or they're hovering slightly. Heart is open, sits bones are grounded. Okay, we're going to inhale to the count of 6, nice and slow. Reaching up towards the sky, gazing up at the hands. And then we're going to exhale to the count of 4, so a little bit faster as the arms release back to the earth. We'll do that twice more. So inhale for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Turn the palms up. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. And one more inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then hold here. Okay, draw the shoulders down away from the ears, squeeze those low ribs together. We're going to bend the left elbow, bring your right hand, that left elbow. So we're just bringing the palm to the back of the shoulder blade, much towards the center of your back if you can. And just inviting this stretch into the tricep. Good, and then inhale, reach up. Exhale, bend the right elbow. Take left hand to right elbow, palm to the back body. Keep the head stacked over the shoulders. So don't let the head jut forward. That's our tendency. Just find that stretch in the tricep. And then inhale, reach up. Exhale, we're going to twist to the right. Bring left hand to the right knee, right hand to the mat behind you. Inhale, find a little more lift through the heart. Exhale, pick up the right hip, scoot it back an inch or so, and start to turn your gaze behind you. Keep the shoulders drawing down away from the ears. Bring your awareness to your spine again. Notice if it feels straight and stacked, or if you feel any rounding, and try to find that straight, stacked spine. Expanding outward on the inhale, and again, engaging the core a little bit on the exhale to support the spine. Keeping the head and neck stacked. And then on your next inhale, we'll come to center, reach up. Exhale, gentle twist to your left. So right hand to the left knee, left hand to the mat behind you. Breathe in, find some lift in the heart. As you breathe out, pick up that left hip, scoot it back an inch or so. Gazing further back behind you. And then reconnecting to the breath. Reconnecting to the sensations in the spine. And with your next inhale, returning to center, reaching the arms up towards the sky. And then exhale, release the arms down. Okay, from here, we'll extend the legs forward. So finding our staff pose, Dandasana. So feet flexed and feet hip width apart. Find those sits bones. So sometimes it's helpful to grab the thigh and just turn the inner thigh down, kind of lifting the outer thigh up. And then same thing on the other side. So that just gives us a little more grounding sensation. Okay. And then inhale, again, slowly reach the arms out and up towards the sky. As you exhale, hinge at the hips. Keep reaching and lengthening as you fold forward. Eventually letting the arms drop and just letting them rest, letting the forehead drop towards the legs. And just breathing into the back body. Or maybe sending your breath to your hamstrings. That might be where you feel the tightest in this pose. Just wherever it feels tight or resistant, send your breath there. With your next inhale, reach long through the arms again, ground those sits bones, draw belly to spine, and rise up and reach towards the sky. And then exhale, release the arms down. We're going to bring the hands to the mat behind us, fingers pointing towards the feet, and the hands just slightly wider than the hips. Okay, then bend your knees, and on your inhale, we're going to lift to a reverse table. So hopefully as you come up, your knees stack over your ankles, and the shoulders stack over your wrists. And then we either gaze up towards the sky or towards our knees. We just don't want to drop the head all the way back. Squeeze the glutes together, lift the hips a little higher as you press into the big toenails. Stay here for one more big breath in. And then as you exhale, we're going to lower the hips back down. Stretch the legs out in front of you, coming back into our Dandasana. And then inhale, reach the arms up towards the sky. Exhale again, we're going to hinge at the hips, reach forward, come into a forward fold. And then we'll pause here for a few breaths. With your next inhale, reach forward, rise up, and exhale, release the arms down. So same thing, bring the hands behind you, fingers. And you can try turning your hands towards the mat behind you. Some people like that better, and you might get more of a shoulder opener. For me, that's not as comfortable. So just find what works for you. Hands a little bit wider than the hips. This time we're going to keep the legs straight. And as you inhale, lift the hips. So squeeze the glutes together. Your soles of your feet are reaching towards the floor. They might not get there. Okay. But just lifting the front body as high as you can. Hopefully feeling a little stretch in the shoulders. Might be parts of the body that are kind of stealing that attention. That happens. Stay here for one more breath in, lift a little higher. And then exhale, release back down. Okay. Now reach your arms forward, turn your palms face up. We're gonna lean back a little bit and draw the knees in for both toes. So bring the big toe mounds together, spread your toes wide, lift your heart, draw the shoulders back and down. And breathe. Okay, take a deep breath in as you reach your arms up towards the sky. Exhale, we're gonna reach left arm forward, right arm back for a twist. Inhale to center. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, center, reach up. Exhale, take the arms wide. Hold here as you inhale, lift through the heart. Exhale, bring your feet to the mat and give your knees a hug. Inhale, sit up tall. And then we'll come to our hands and knees. So stack shoulders over wrists and spread your fingers wide. Hips over knees, flatten the tops of the feet. Bring your awareness to your spine again. This next movement, cat-cow, is really meant to move the spine. So as you inhale, the tailbone lifts. We start to take our gaze up towards the sky. Shoulders draw back towards the glutes. And then exhale, navel draws in. We tuck the tailbone and tuck the chin. Move through a few more cat-cows at your own pace, connecting the movement to the breath. And then with your next inhale, returning to table, finding that neutral spine. Now we're going to take the hands forward a bit. So bring the heel of the hands where the fingertips just were. Spread the fingers wide still. And then tuck your toes under. Okay, we're going to lift the hips and press back into a crotchety old dog. So keep the knees deeply bent for the first few breaths. Wiggle the hips a bit side to side. Maybe walk out the legs. Just find some movement that feels good, that helps kind of release a little tension before you come into the full pose. And by full pose, I mean your fullest expression of the pose. So that might mean that you keep the knees deeply bent. Okay? As long as you're pressing into the hands and lifting the tailbone as high as you can. And then relax your head and neck. With your next inhale, gaze forward towards the top of your mat. And on your exhale, walk forward, coming into a standing forward fold. Uttanasana. So feet are hip width apart. Okay. We'll take ragdoll here. So bring hands to opposite elbow crease. Tuck the chin, let the head fall heavy towards the ground. Knees can be bent as little or as a lot as you want. Maybe swaying side to side if that feels good. And then release the hands. Now we're going to bend the knees a lot and then reach the arms up in front for chair pose. So gaze down for a moment at your knees. Make sure they're not coming out in front of your toes. Okay? And biceps come up alongside the ears as long as that's comfortable for you. So if you have any injuries in the shoulders or extra tightness, you could keep the hands on your hips if that's better. Okay. On your next inhale, unless you're keeping your hands on your hips, we're going to open the arms wide. As you exhale, we're going to give ourselves a big hug. So bring your hands to the opposite shoulder, tuck your chin, stay low in your chair, just gently roll your head side to side. And then notice which arm is on top. And on your next inhale, open the arms wide again. Open through the heart. Exhale, give yourself another hug with the other arm on top. Tuck your chin, gently roll your head side to side. And then with your next inhale, open the arms wide again. Hold here as you exhale. And then inhale, press into the feet, rise all the way up to stand, reach your arms up towards the sky, gaze up at the hand, and then exhale, bring hands to heart center. Uttanasana. Just take a moment here, close your eyes again. Feel your feet reaching towards the center of the earth, crown of the head reaching towards the sky. Bring your awareness to your spine. Imagine space between each of the vertebrae. Letting the head float between the shoulders, chin parallel to the earth. And with your next inhale, sweep the arms out and up towards the sky. And then exhale, hands to heart center, bowing forward, knees slightly bent, coming into a forward fold. And then as you inhale, press into the feet, we'll lift halfway, bring your hands to your shin, draw the shoulders back towards the hips. Glue the heels into the mat and then pretend to drag them apart. That engages the inner thighs and creates a little more space in the sacrum. And exhale, fold forward again. Bend the knees deeply. We're going to step the right leg back and into a lunge. Left knee steps over the left ankle. And then we're going to drop that back knee. Inhale, reach the arms up towards the sky. Draw the shoulders down away from your ears. Squeeze the low ribs together and lift through the front body, finding a little bit of a back bend. Makes a little more of a balanced pose as you take your gaze up. And exhale, bring the hands back to the mat. Lift that back knee and step the front foot back, coming into plank. Stacking shoulders over the wrists, feet hip width apart. Feel long and strong here in this pose. Engage the core. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, we're going to lower the knees, okay? And then shift your torso forward a little bit so the shoulders come in front of the wrists. And then as you exhale, engage the core, bend the elbows straight back so the biceps hug the body. We're going to lower halfway until your elbows are at a right angle. And then inhale, push back up. Exhale, bring the hips to heels for extended child's pose. Rest your forehead on the floor. And then with the arms reached out in front of you, bring the palms together. And then bend the elbows, bringing the thumb into the crook of the neck. And then walk the elbows forward and sit back into the hips. So this should give you a nice stretch in the triceps. And then bring the palms back to the mat, way out in front of you, shoulder width apart. And on your next breath in, make your way back to downward facing dog. Pressing the tailbone up and back, pressing the heart towards the thighs. Broadening the shoulder blades, rounding through the thumb and forefinger. And then on your next inhale, lift the right leg high. Exhale, bring knee to nose. Pause here with the shoulders stacked over the wrists. Create space between you and the ground. And then with your next exhale, bring the foot between the hands for a lunge on the other side. So right knee stacks over the right ankle. I drop that back knee. Inhale, reach the arms up towards the sky. Draw navel to spine, tailbone towards the ground. Inhale, lift the heart, finding a little bit more of a back bend, maybe gazing up towards the sky. Again, that kind of makes us wobble a little bit as we move our gaze. And then exhale, bring the hands back to the mat. We're going to lift that back knee. And this time on your exhale, we're going to take a big step forward with that left foot. Finding Uttanasana again, our standing forward fold. And then inhale to a half lift. Lengthen through the spine, and exhale, fold. Bend the knees, plant your hands. We're going to step the left leg back. Right knee steps over the right ankle. Okay, you can drop the back knee if you want to, like we have been, or you can keep it lifted. And this time, inhale, reaching the arms up, maybe with that back leg lifted. Okay, exhale here, draw shoulders down away from the ears, squeeze those low ribs together. Inhale, lift the entire front body, maybe find a back bend, maybe cactus the arms. Again, it gets a little wobbly. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, bring your hands back to the mat. We're going to step that right foot back, coming into plank. Pause here, shoulders stacked over wrists. Engage the core, feel long and strong. Now, you can drop your knees like we did the last time or keep them lifted. Basically, it's the same thing. We're going to shift our upper body forward a little bit so that the shoulders come in front of the wrists. And then as you exhale, engage your core, bend the elbows straight back to the biceps, hug the body, lower halfway until there's a right angle in the elbows, and then push back up. And then exhale, take the hips up and back for down dog or child's pose. That's a great option too, especially if you're on your knees. We'll take a few breaths here in either pose. Taking this opportunity to again bring our awareness to our spine. Very important part of our bodies. Often thought to be our center, our core. Doesn't just have to be muscles. Okay, if you're in child's pose, maybe make your way back to down dog. And then with your next breath in, we're going to lift the right leg. Exhale, knee to nose. Nope, I'm sorry, wrong foot. Bring that foot back down. We want to lift the left leg. And then exhale, knee to nose. Pause here with the shoulders stacked over the wrist, creating that space between you and the mat. And then with your next exhale, bring that foot between the hands. And on your next inhale, we're going to lift the arms up towards the sky. You always have that option to drop the back knee if you'd like. Okay, and then sink into the hips a little bit, draw shoulders down away from your ears, but then navel draws to spine as we lift through the front body for a little bit of a back bend if you feel stable, maybe even cactus in the arms. We'll take one more deep breath in here. Exhale, release the hands back to the mat. And then we're going to step the back foot forward and into standing forward fold. Then on your next inhale, press into the feet, and with a straight spine, we're going to come up in a reverse swan dive, reaching the arms all the way up and towards the sky. And then exhale, hands to heart center. Again, taking a moment to pause. So close your eyes. Feel your energy moving from your center in opposing directions. Okay, so we're drawing our energy from our core down through our feet, and simultaneously drawing our energy up from our core through the crown of our head. So it really makes us feel strong and stable through our center. Good, and then gently open your eyes. And then inhale, reach your arms up towards the sky. As you exhale, release the arms, bring left arm under right for eagle arms. Okay, so wrapping the arms, maybe bringing palms to touch if that's successful, or it can be the back of the hands, or you can bring hands to shoulders. Okay, and then we're just going to play around with this for a little bit for some more shoulder stretches. So reach your hands away from you. Okay, if hands are on the shoulder, just kind of round forward. And then bring the hands back in. Lift the hands towards the sky. So this brings a nice stretch through kind of the outside of the upper arms and armpits. And again, if hands are on the shoulders, you can still just reach the elbows up towards the sky. And then bring the elbows back in towards the chest. We're just going to move side to side here. So let's first move to the right. And then come back to center and take it to the other side. So you'll notice that one side gives you a lot more range of motion than the other. It's totally normal. Okay. And then bring the hands back to center. So now we want to draw the shoulders down away from the ears. So we're going to lift the elbows shoulder height and press the hands away so that the wrists stack over the elbows. Okay. Or if hands are on your shoulders, elbows or shoulders, shoulder height. Okay. Now, find a focal point, ground through your feet. On an exhale, we're to sit back in our chair. We're going to bring our weight to our right foot, lift the left leg, and wrap it around. So you can use those left toes as a kickstand on the ground if you want to, or maybe you can wrap those toes around behind the ankle. Squeeze everything in like you're wringing out a towel. Maybe sit a little lower. For a little more challenge, if you want to, you can start to bring elbows to knees, rounding forward. Wherever you are, whatever version you're in, just stay connected to the breath. Keep breathing. Okay, now keep the arms intertwined, but on your next inhale, we're going to unwrap the legs. We're going to slowly start to shoot the left leg back behind, hinging forward through the upper body, and then slowly bending the standing leg, bringing the left toes to the mat behind us. Actually bring the sole of the foot down, the warrior one leg. It's a little more stable. And then reach your arms up and back. Keep that front knee deeply bent. Just a little back bend. And then inhale, release the arms and reach the arms up towards the sky. So now we are in a full warrior one position. Okay, shoulders draw down away from the ears. Squeeze those low ribs in. Draw the tailbone down. Inhale, straighten the front leg, cactus the arms and gaze up. Exhale, back to warrior one with the bent knee. Inhale, cactus the arms, straighten the leg. Exhale, warrior one. One more time. Now with your next inhale, we're going to open up to warrior two. You might need to adjust your stance a little bit so that you've got a nice wide stance between the feet. Front knees deeply bent and stacked over that front ankle. And as you gaze down at that front knee, you should barely be able to see the big toe on the inside of the knee. Root through the outer edge of the back foot, stack shoulders over hips, gaze out over your right fingertips. And then inhale to reverse warrior, reaching the right arm up and back, feeling the right ribs lifting away from the right hip. And then exhale, extended side angle. So right elbow to knee or right fingertips to the floor, and then reach your left arm up and overhead. And then we're going to wrap that left arm behind the low back. Okay. And then just gently drop your right ear towards your right shoulder. Invite a stretch into the left side of the neck. On your next inhale, reach that left arm towards the sky again, and then come all the way back up to warrior two. And on your next inhale, we're going to come to five-pointed star facing the side of your mat. Toes turn out, arms reaching up towards the sky. Exhale, release the arms down behind the back, interlace the fingers. Now turn your toes in, heels out. Inhale, lift your heart towards the sky as the hands reach towards the floor behind you. And then exhale, start to hinge at the hips and bend forward, grounding into the outer edges of the feet, engaging the inner thighs, and allowing the hands to lift away from the body. And then release the hands to the floor. Walk your hands over towards your right foot. Okay, take both hands outside of the ankle or the calf or the thigh, just not the knee. Okay, and then we're going to bend through that left elbow and bring our left ribs closer to the right thigh as we gaze up over that right shoulder. So again, stay grounded in the outer edges of the feet. Try not to lock the knees. If you want to, you could reach your right arm towards the sky or bring right hand to hip or half bind. Okay, whatever feels best for you this morning. We're just working on a twist while we're in this wide-legged forward fold. Take one more deep breath in here. And then exhale, release. Walk your hands way over to the left foot. Bring the hands to the outside of the leg or the ankle, just not at the knee. And then bend through that right elbow. Bring right ribs closer to the left thigh. Gazing up over your left shoulder. Maybe reaching the left arm up, taking it to the hip, or wrapping it behind the back, whatever you want to do. It's your practice. I'm just simply here to make suggestions. Take one more breath in this twist, and then exhale, return to center. And then we're going to walk the hands around to face the front of the mat again as we turn the toes to face the front of the mat and come into a lunge. Okay. Step that right foot back, coming into plank. And once again, just like we did before, you could drop the knees if you want to. We're going to shift our body weight forward, bend the elbows straight back, lower down, chaturanga halfway, and then push back up. And then take the hips up and back. We'll take a few breaths in down dog or child's pose. Reconnect with your breath. Elongate the spine. And then inhale, take your gaze forward. And on your exhale, step, walk, or float to the top of your mat for standing forward fold. On your next breath in, we're going to reverse swan dive, come up with a flat back, engage the core, reach your arms up towards the sky, and then exhale, hands to heart center, taking a moment to pause, to check in on our spine, to reconnect with our breath. And then inhale, reach the arms up. As you exhale, we're going to bring right arm under left this time for eagle arms. Okay. So again, just playing around with this for a little bit. You can always have hands on the shoulders or back of the hands together. Okay, we're going to take the arms forward, maybe even rounding through the upper back a little bit. And then bring the hands back in and reach them up towards the sky, lifting the elbows away from you. And then bring the elbows back in. We're going to take the hands to one side and then the other. And then back to center. All right, then we're going to sit back in our chair. So deep bend in the knees. Okay. Bringing your weight to your left foot, wrapping the right leg around it. So maybe you use those toes as a kickstand. Maybe you wrap them around behind the ankle. Draw your navel in. Again, if you want to challenge yourself a bit, maybe bring elbows to knees. Wherever you are, stay connected to your breath, squeezing everything in. Now keep the arms interlaced. On your next inhale, we're going to unwrap the legs. We're going to start to shoot that right leg back. And then slowly bend the standing leg and place that right foot on the earth behind you. Now keep the front knee bent. Start to lift your hands up and back, finding a back bend here. And then on your next breath in, releasing the arms, reaching up for warrior one. Shoulders draw down away from the ears. Squeeze those low ribs together. Ground into the front big toe mound and the outer edge of the back foot. On your next breath in, straighten the front leg, maybe cactus the arms and lift through the heart, unless you feel unstable. But now inhale, bend the knee, reach up. Exhale. And inhale. One more time. Straighten the front leg, cactus the arms. And then come back to your warrior one. On your next breath in, we're going to open to warrior two. So again, you might need to take a moment to readjust your stance. Want a nice wide space between the feet. Deep bend in the front knee. Big toe visible on the inside of the knee. Rooting through the outer edge of that back foot. Shoulders stack over hips. Gaze now over the front fingertips. And just find that little bit of ease, that softness through the arms and through the face. On your next inhale, we'll come into reverse warrior. Reaching the left arm up and back. Feel left ribs lifting away from the hip. And then exhale, extended side angle. So maybe elbow to knee or fingertips to the floor. Right arm reaching up and overhead. And then we can take that right arm behind the low back for a half line. Draw the shoulders away from the ears and just gently drop left ear to left shoulder. That just invites a little stretch into the right side of the neck. And then with your next breath in, reach the right arm towards the sky. Press into the front foot. Come back to warrior two. And then inhale, 5-pointed star facing the side of your mat. Arms reach up, toes turn out. We're lengthening and reaching up to the crown of the head. And then exhale, release the hands behind you, interlace the fingers the odd way, smoothing everything over one digit. And then turn your toes in, heels out. Inhale, lift through the heart, hands reach towards the floor behind you. And then exhale, hinge at the hips. Start to lift the hands away from the body. Root through the outer edges of the feet, engage the inner thighs. Let the head drop towards the floor. Squeeze the shoulder blades together, lift the shoulders away from the ears. And then release the hands back down. Hands come to the earth. Okay. Now walk your hands towards your left foot. Okay. And then this is going to be something a little different. We're going to tuck our right fingers in underneath the outer edge of that left foot. Okay, and then I'm just holding on to my leg wherever I can with that left hand. Now I'm going to bend my right knee deeply, and I'm going to pull back through my upper body as if I'm trying to lift that left foot off the mat. So this right arm gets pulled straight, and I get this really nice stretch to the back of the shoulder. So you're pulling your upper body towards the right, finding that side body stretch and that outer shoulder stretch. Good, and then we'll release, bring the hands through center, taking over to your right foot. Okay, so tucking your left fingers underneath the outer edge of the right foot. Right hand is resting anywhere on that right leg other than the knee. And then take a deep bend in your left knee and pull your upper body back towards that right knee. So as if you're trying to lift your right foot off the floor with your hand, embodying that big stretch to the outside of the left shoulder, your left side body. And then releasing back to center. We're going to walk our hands around to face the front of the mat. Take a lunge, bending that front knee, and step back to plank. Pause here, take a deep breath in. Exhale, drop your knees, bend the elbows straight back, lower halfway. Push back up, and then let's all come to an extended child's pose. Actually, not an extended child's pose. Let's get the shoulders a break. Take your hands back by your feet. Forehead rests on the floor. And just relax and breathe for a couple of breaths. Good, now bring your hands to the mat by your knees. Push yourself upright. And then let's come to a comfortable seated position. So I want to do some pranayama here. So just find a comfortable seat. Sit up tall. So this is Nadi Shuddha, or alternate nostril breath. So most of you are probably familiar. We're going to use our right hand. Okay, so I'm not going to mirror you on this one. Take your right hand, your peace sign fingers, and take your peace sign fingers in towards the palm. Okay, we're going to use our thumb and our ring finger for this. So you're going to take your thumb on your right hand to the right nostril, close the right nostril, inhale through the left nostril. Pause at the top of the inhale for a moment as you squeeze off the left nostril with the ring finger, and then release the thumb and exhale slowly through the right. Inhale through the right. Pause, close off the right nostril with the thumb, release the ring finger, and exhale through the left. So that's a full cycle, okay? So continue at your own pace. Just taking turns, inhaling and exhaling through one side and then the other. You might notice that this loosens things up, and you may find that you need a tissue partway through. So finish the cycle you're on and complete one more full round. Take your time. When you're through, just rest your hands on your knees, palms face up. Keep your eyes closed. And just notice what you feel. So this is a cleansing breath. It's also meant to bring balance into the body. It balances the left and right hemisphere and the different energy lines in the body. So hopefully you feel a little more balanced. Good. Gently open your eyes. And then we're going to come onto our backs. So roll back and hug your knees into your chest. Squeeze them in tight, maybe rock a little bit side to side. And then roll on to your right side. Come into fetal position and reach your arms out in front of your chest. Rest your head on the floor. If it feels awkward, if your head's not comfortable, you can place a blanket or block underneath the head. Okay. We're just going to do a little more shoulder work here. So on your inhale, start to drag your left fingertips along the floor up overhead. Keep the knees stacked. As the arm comes back behind you, the fingertips might lift up off the floor, and this is usually where it feels a little tight in the shoulder. And eventually you'll come all the way back, hands stacked. And again, slowly dragging those left fingertips along the floor. This time we're going to pause for a moment where you get to that sticky spot, where it feels a little tight, a little cranky, and just breathe into it. Take 1 or 2 breaths in that spot, and then continue your circles. Remember to keep the knees stacked, so you're not bringing your back body to the mat. It's going to help give you a little more stretch in the shoulder. And always be careful, be mindful. Again, if you have any shoulder injuries and this doesn't feel good, please modify or just don't even do it. Just continuing for a couple more. Again, pausing each time you get to a cranky spot. Breathing into it for a moment, trying to find a little ease into the stretch. And completing your circle. So take your time and finish the one you're on and then do one more complete circle. So again, don't feel rushed. Don't forget to pause. And then we'll all meet with the hands stacked out in front of us. And then with your next inhale, we're going to slowly drag the left fingertips up the right arm across the chest, and then let that arm fall back behind you. So this time the knees do come apart, and we bring our left shoulder either to or towards the floor behind us, not forcing anything, of course, just finding a twist, a comfortable twist that we can hang out in for a couple of moments. If you want to, you can straighten that left leg and capture up the foot with the right hand. A little different version of this. And then with your next inhale, we're going to sweep that left arm across the sky, bring it back to meet the right palm. And then slowly come to your back. And we'll switch sides. I'm just going to turn around so I'm still facing you. But come on to your left side. Okay, again, resting the head and prop it up if you need to. Arms stacked out in front of the chest. And then when you're ready, slowly start to drag the right fingertips along the floor up overhead. Keep the knees stacked. Come full circle, nice and slow. And then just continue with your circles. But now introducing that pause Each time you come to that tight spot, that cranky spot, use the breath to invite a little ease, a little surrender to the movement before completing your circle. So complete the circle you're on, including the pause, and then do one more full circle. So again, take your time, move slowly. And then we'll meet again with the calm start. With your next inhale, slowly drag the right fingertips up the left arm and across the chest and let it float back behind you. Opening the chest a little more, letting the knees come apart and maybe bringing that right shoulder to or towards the floor. Mine doesn't quite get there and I'm not going to force it. It's still floating, but it's closer. So then just settling into this twist for breath. Option to straighten the right leg and capture the foot with the left hand. With your next inhale, we're going to sweep that right arm across the sky. Bring the hand to meet the left. And then we're going to roll onto our backs. Hug the knees into the chest. Rock a little bit side to side. And then stretch your legs out for Shavasana. Turn the palms up, roll the shoulder blades underneath the back, let the toes gently fall out to the sides. Take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. Letting go any negative or stagnant energy. Feeling the support of the earth beneath you. Allowing the jaw to completely relax. Floating somewhere between consciousness and unconsciousness. No thoughts, no effort. Just your breath. Start to bring your awareness back into your body. Start to wiggle your fingers and toes, your hands and your feet. Slowly reach the arms overhead, lengthening through one side of the body and then the other, and then both. And then drawing the knees in, wrapping your arms around the legs, giving yourself a hug. Maybe taking a moment to express gratitude towards yourself for making this happen, for coming to your mat today, for nurturing your body, mind, and spirit. And then we'll roll to one side in the fetal position for a few more moments of peace and stillness. And then keep your eyes closed. Move slowly and mindfully, making your way back to seated. We'll meet with our hands at heart center in Anjali Mudra. Closing our practice with the sound of Om. Let's take a deep breath in. Om. May our bodies and our hearts always be healthy. May our hearts and our minds always be open. May we move through life with intention and gratitude, sharing our joy with everyone we meet. Thank you so much for practicing with me today. Namaste.